You know what show I really liked a lot when I was a kid?
Scooby-Doo.
Well, Scooby-Doo, dinosaurs, man.
Ooh, I like dinosaurs.
All those puppets and things.
Yeah.
Puppets and
You know,
things.
the baby was the same guy that did Elmo's voice.
Elmo, really?
Yeah, Kevin Clash.
I don't know.
Not the mom.
Oh, yeah. Man, my parents loved that show.
Did they? I love that show. I watched it on VHS all the time.
It was really good.
Because I guess, it was already over by the time I was born, I suppose. Yeah.
Well, hey, guys. Welcome to Matt and Joe's Overload.
I'm Matt.
And I'm Joe. And it's time for us to bring you our new content in our new format.
Yeah, it's the first official episode in our new format. So if you are keeping up with us, and we're going to try to have content every week from now on, keep that in mind. If you're keeping up with us, the last episode was like our little teaser. Last video, I should say, was our little teaser for what we're doing now. But we're back at the table, and we're going to be having a discussion on a variety of different topics. We mentioned that we'd probably be doing some reviews of different types of products, things like food and drink. And Joe actually brought something for us to try today that I'm kind of excited about. I'm not really sure exactly what we got here.
We got
SmartFood brand
popcorn
in Snickerdoodle flavor?
Snickerdoodle flavor in time for the holidays, and they've done something really creative.
Yeah, if you need a last-minute gift for a family member, grab a bag of this and just slap your name on there.
You're like, oh crap, I gotta go visit the family. I don't have a gift to bring.
Well, Merry Christmas.
SmartFood
Snickerdoodle popcorn.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, you can write your name to, from. I gotta tell you though, you bring this, you really didn't try hard at all. At all. Okay, limited holiday flavor. Alright, so we got a...
Yeah, we're going to be snacking on this as we have our square table discussion here.
Okay.
I like this bowl.
It smells like Snickerdoodle.
It smells overwhelmingly like
It's a lot like Snickerdoodle.
Oh my.
Oh, Jesus. Ooh. That might be too much.
It's pretty strong. I'm already... I don't want to jump the gun here, but...
We're going to be a little sparse with this.
No, go for it. No. Go for the gusto.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. All right, hold on.
All right. I'm looking for my optimal piece. I want one that I think...
I'm going to be honest with you. I usually like my popcorn stale.
You like everything stale.
Yeah, I do.
Joe leaves food on the floor.
Collard was terrible for my palate. All right, I got one.
Did you say cholera was terrible for your palate?
No, I said college.
I thought you said cholera.
Did I say cholera?
Maybe we'll watch that on the replay. Comment below if you think that Joe said cholera. I think this is my optimal piece.
All right, you ready?
Yeah. Okay. Not as overwhelmingly Snickerdoodle as you would have guessed from the smell.
That's not bad at all, really.
It's actually, I'm going to get one of these pieces that has like a lot on it.
It also has like
I don't know if you can see that at all, but this has a lot of cinnamon on it.
It still has that salty flavor too, which I like.
Still a little butteriness too.
Maybe that's what I'm...
Like, look at this piece here, like how yellow it is.
Dude, that's
definitely butter.
That's really good.
Like I said, it's not as overwhelming as I would have thought.
Not based on the smell, no.
Yeah, from the smell, I was like, oh, this might be too much. I honestly wasn't expecting the saltiness at all. I thought it was going to be straight up sweet.
Yeah, I thought it was just going to be sweet. Guys.
Quality stuff if you like Snickerdoodle.
I recommend this. Totally.
Yeah, I give it...
Man, this is...
I give it a 6 out of 6.
6 out of 6?
That's my...
I'm going on a scale of 1 to 10. I'll give this an 8. Maybe an 8.5. This is surprisingly good.
That averages out to a 7 out of 9 on the Matt and Joe overload scale.
Man, that is excellent.
It is good. I can enjoy this. Wouldn't want it all the time. Like
No, yeah. I mean, you could like serve this at like your Christmas party, maybe Thanksgiving party.
Yeah,
I mean,
watching your Christmas movies with the family.
yeah.
When you're watching Elf,
some Elf, some Tim Allen.
yeah, or Bill and Ted, which
Bill and Ted.
isn't a Christmas movie, but was a movie that was released relatively recently. We're a little late to the party on this, I suppose. But, I mean, I think of the movies that were supposed to come out this year, this was definitely one of your most anticipated.
Oh, man.
You're
yes.
the bigger Bill and Ted fan of the two of us.
Absolutely.
But we were both pretty excited about this movie, and we were looking forward to discussing it. You were actually out of town when it premiered, but we watched it like the very first night you were back.
I was back, yeah.
And we have some thoughts on it. If you haven't seen the latest Bill and Ted movie, Bill and Ted Face the Music, there might be some spoilers in this discussion going forward. But if you're anything like us, who cares?
Yeah.
I mean, let's do this.
That's a great movie. I mean, I grew up as a kid. I mean,
you were right in line with the generation of Bill and Ted.
Right.
I mean,
but I'll tell you, like the first movie, The Excellent Adventure. I really hadn't seen that one. Bogus Journey was the one that I really watched over and over and over again. So there were elements in this movie that remind me of that. More specifically, the inclusion of the death robot. What's his name? Dennis.
Dennis Caleb McCoy.
Yeah, Dennis Caleb McCoy.
Very oddly specific.
Yeah, but he's like he looks like the Grim Reaper if you know from Bogus Journey. And at first he was just like a character, and then he's surprised. He's kind of a comedic
foil, so to speak. Yeah.
Right.
I mean,
so I
actually,
like
a bulk of the comedy comes from him. Really,
yeah,
I mean,
and especially towards the end.
I have more memorable moments of him than some of the more important characters.
And Bogus Journey was all
Death.
Grim Reaper. Played by, who was it?
William Sadler. William Sadler.
Yeah. So, I mean, like, that was one of my favorite parts of that movie.
I enjoyed that. What did you think about the plot just in general? For having waited almost 30 years basically since the last movie for it to finally be made, were you pleased with what happened, the story?
I like the story. I like all of the references to the Bogus Journey. Because to me, I mean, I'll be honest, I liked this movie a lot. Bogus Journey is my favorite.
See, I've only seen it one time, and it may just be recency bias, but I honestly think that Face the Music is my favorite of the trilogy.
It could be. It's close. I've seen Face the Music a few times. I watched Bogus Journey probably more than 20 times when I was a kid.
Yeah. You've watched it a lot recently, haven't you?
Yeah.
There for a while, you were watching it nightly, weren't you?
Yeah.
As you were falling asleep, you weren't watching
I wasn't paying attention. But it hits all the same notes as Bogus Journey. There's a story, they're gathering, all the musicians. However, in Bogus Journey, they're not gathering musicians. They're just coming back from the dead.
Yeah.
And then build good robot asses, which I thought was great. The new movie I like a whole lot. I'm not a huge fan of the portrayal of the kids, though.
The daughters, specifically. So, this movie introduced 2 new characters. Well, not entirely new.
They were in Bogus Journey.
Yeah, as babies.
As babies.
Yeah, but now it is revealed that they weren't actually Bill and Ted Jr., so to speak. They're daughters. Who still retain the names. They're Billy and Thea, and they're kind of the crux of the movie, really, in a lot of ways, but we'll get to that a little more later. Joe had mixed opinions on them at first. I was pretty much sold on them fairly quickly myself. I like those characters.
Well, and just when you and I are just talking casually about it, I cannot remember the names of the actresses. But I know
Samara Weaving is the blonde one, so that would be Thea.
Right.
Yeah.
So for me, I don't know.
Sorry, I don't remember the other actress.
It just
name, but she was fine.
It just seems like they're trying too hard to imitate how they were in the 90s. And
I would suspect, though, that was exactly the direction they received.
Right.
Was to do that. So I wouldn't blame them for that.
But to me, if I were going to give I love the movie, don't get me wrong. But my criticism would be, I feel like they're trying to.
I wonder if it would have been more interesting instead of going directly like, oh, Bill and Ted raised kids that are just like them, if they put kind of a spin on it a little bit. Not lean into it a lot, but have, Bill and Ted represent, what is that, Generation X? What is that generation called? Is it Generation X?
I think so.
I think it is too. But the 80s.
It's been forever since
into the 90s
talked about that stuff.
I hear it.
It was like
fairly
Generation
often.
Y or
Yeah.
I haven't heard in a long time.
But anyway, my point is if maybe they'd put more of like the millennial spin on the daughters, so to speak, like had them not be exactly like if Bill and Ted were kids of today, what would they be more like? They probably wouldn't be exactly like themselves from the late 80s, early 90s.
I will tell
because you're saying the daughters seem like they were trying too hard to be like that. So what if they made it a little more natural for the time, so to speak?
Okay, I see what you're saying. So maybe I'm a little disconnected from.
No, I'm not saying you're disconnected. I'm saying maybe the characters are.
Could be.
From the writing standpoint.
I'll tell you.
I think the actresses did fine with what they were given.
Alex Winters, the way he played.
He was on point.
Oh.
Keanu, little off. Not terrible. I wouldn't say he was phoning it in. I would just say he was a little out of touch.
Yeah.
It's just been so long. And
yeah.
He hasn't been known as that guy.
Like
he's purposely distanced himself from that since.
But Alex Winters, when he's playing older him, it reminded me of him playing the grandmother.
The grandmother and Bogus.
I mean, it was almost spot on. Like the look in his face, like as he's old. I mean, maybe that's his acting direction. But and that's
he had to have channeled that.
Yeah, and that's the way that he did. But it was great. I thought it was great. I was like, man, well job. So after being out of the seat for so long, what the hell am I talking about? But out of the seat for so long.
I'll just say it again. Not sure what it was, but I'm committing to it.
Out of the seat.
Out of the seat. Get it going.
Comment below if you know. Who knows where we'll go?
We said it. Why would they comment it back to us?
I don't know. Anyway,
we're in the seat now. We gotta commit to it.
We're going. But the look, the way he did it, I was like, man, that is awesome. Like he looked great. The way he acted it, and this was all good.
I liked all of those alternate Bill and Teds that we saw throughout the movie, but the elderly ones were definitely my favorite.
Yeah, I agree.
As they probably were most people's.
Yeah, I agree.
I suppose the buff prison guys probably were popular.
What do you? So for me, a big thing when I was younger with Bogus Journey, I loved the ending song, where they're playing. And I didn't realize that it was a Kiss song, but it is.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it is. And but I would listen to that song again and again and again. And in the ending of the movie, even I would watch again and again and again as a kid because I was just so like it was just so cool to see them like play and everybody was listening and everybody was on the same page.
Yeah, which ultimately is the major theme of this movie too.
Right. So that song wasn't the song that unites the world. This song is. Yeah,
it was the titular song of the movie, Face the Music. The song is also called Face the Music on the soundtrack. They never refer to it in the movie as such. But I mean, could they really have made a more perfect song?
It's really good.
From the writing standpoint of writing that movie, you kind of write yourself into a corner, so to speak, by saying that this song has to be the one that unites the earth.
Right.
So it has to be pretty epic. So then you have to really deliver on that, and I feel like they did.
Yeah.
I genuinely feel like they did. I'm not afraid to admit it. I got a little emotional watching that. I got a little
teared up.
There's a part where just the crowd watching as they're getting ready to play the song is like chanting along with it. If you hear the song, you know what I'm talking about.
And it's called...
And I got goosebumps.
Yeah, the name of the song is Face the Music.
I already said that, but
yeah.
you know.
Oh, I guess I was eating the... This stuff is great, actually.
Can't stress it enough.
It's so good.
I haven't stopped eating this entire time.
I know!
We might need to set it aside, I'm going to get me just a little bit, and then maybe we'll just kind of get that out of there.
Man, that was really good.
So we don't get... Highly recommend. As we do this movie, which we're getting back to...
I'm so surprised at how good this is.
Real quick, couple other things I want to run through before we get too far into the music. Just other characters we haven't really touched on yet. The wives are back, but they're played by different actresses. They have their own little subplot where their future selves... They're both new, yes.
Oh. I thought maybe what's the blonde or redhead one? I thought that maybe she was the same actor.
No.
Oh,
they're both
they're
new.
all... Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Who knew? I did. And most people.
Who knows what we don't know?
Who knows who those wives are? Bill and Ted's. Their little subplot in the movie is basically like they're going through marriage counseling and they're wondering if they should stay married to Bill and Ted because of their codependency on each other, and their future selves come and take them through all these different things. And we don't really see much of that, which ultimately renders that whole subplot useless. I didn't hate it, but it was probably my least favorite aspect of the movie because why? Like, why is it even in there?
Filler, probably.
I mean, definitely. It's only like right around an hour and a half movie. Like, it's barely hitting that.
Yeah,
mark.
I mean, it's as long as...
breezy.
It's as long as the other two movies, which I actually thought was cool. I was like, it's just
I thought
as
it
long
was surprising considering you don't get as many movies nowadays that
are
are
an hour and a half. Yeah.
I mean, kids' movies are still generally short, but which
Like
Bill and
2
Ted's
hours
not
and
exactly like
how
hard
long,
R.
how long are you gonna drag that out? You know?
You'd be surprised. I mean, a lot of comedy movies are way too long nowadays.
That's true.
And not nearly as funny as Bill and Ted.
Yeah.
I don't know if we commented specifically on the comedy, but I thought it was pretty consistent.
Yeah, it's really good.
I don't remember anything that fell flat for me.
Yeah, their back and forth is good. It's still good.
What was your favorite line of the movie?
Oh, man. Crap. I knew you were going to ask me this.
Oh, so you should have been prepared.
Nah, well, it wasn't. Man.
I'll tell you mine. It's when they're trying to escape from themselves, and they put the buckets on their heads so they won't know where they're walking, because the future thems won't be able to remember where they went because they didn't see it in the past because they put the buckets on their heads. And future Bill is like, I was hoping they'd forgotten about that, which is just great on so many levels. I mean, I don't want to dissect the joke, but it's just think about it. I mean, that's great.
One, I can't remember the line, but it's when, to your point before about not caring so much about the wife part of the plot, when they're in the counselor's office and they're talking. I like that whole exchange.
That is a funny part.
The whole exchange.
The setup for the subplot's not bad. It's just the fact that the subplot ultimately goes nowhere.
Yeah.
Is kind of, can't really say it's filler because they really don't focus on it at all.
No, and they don't really come into play till at the end of the movie.
And they more or less stand there.
Yeah. They're not even part of the band anymore.
Yeah.
Are they?
No.
I don't think they
No,
are.
they're just watching from the side stage.
So, anyway, I would say, okay, so what would you give it on a scale of 1 or whatever scale? You were on a scale of 6 or something before?
Yeah, I'm going to stick with my 6s.
All right.
I love 6.
Okay. All right. So on a Matt scale of 1 to 6, what would you give?
It's definitely above average, so it definitely crests 3. I mean, for a comedy movie, for my expectations of what a 30 years later Bill and Ted sequel could possibly be, it definitely exceeded expectations. So I'm going to give it a 4.5 out of 6.
4.5 out of 6.
Well over average, not perfect. I can't even really specify why right now, other than it's not. It's better than I would have expected, but it's not like crazy good.
Yeah.
It's just it's good.
Right.
It's a good, enjoyable movie. Solid movie. Solid entry to that series.
For me, if
solid conclusion.
Right.
Right. That's my conclusion.
Right. And we also didn't even touch on Dennis Caleb McCoy.
We did a little bit.
Who is the new Grim Reaper?
He's a robot.
Is a ribbit. For me, on a scale of 1 to 10, I think it would pretty much identify with your scale. 8.5.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's right there too.
You're a little higher than me. But.
Yeah, a little bit.
But you're also the bigger fan of that franchise, so it makes sense. Makes perfect sense.
I've been watching since I was a kid. Mm-hmm. So, and then even when I go back and rewatch it, like sometimes I'm still like a little kid. I'm like, oh, I remember. Like it takes me back. Yeah. It's nostalgia. It's nostalgia, folks.
Nostalgia.
Okay, so that's good.
What'd you think about Kid Cudi being in the movie?
Oh.
Another part I wasn't crazy about. Not that he was bad or anything. It's just like, why? So kids of this generation have something to relate to in the movie? I can't see any other reason.
I think that's all.
And he probably knows somebody. He's probably a fan. I mean, he probably has a genuine appreciation.
He's got some good songs.
Definitely.
But
that doesn't really come into play.
No.
In this discussion.
No. And that's another thing we didn't really talk about, is that they still gathered musicians, which was cool. Louis Armstrong was really solid in that movie.
Mozart.
Mozart was good too. But Louis Armstrong was really good.
The woman with the flute.
I don't remember
who apparently from the actual legends is a man.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Interesting.
So they just changed it. Well, we cut that review. We cut that review off way too early, I think. I guess.
What?
About the movie, because
I don't remember cutting it off.
I said, that was I thought talking about the end of the song would have kind of culminated the end of the discussion, but I guess not.
No, it didn't at all. But we are rounding up. I mean, I said, Kid Cudi was in there. Throughout the station. I don't know how he knew that, unless I'm sure it came up in their
physics.
In their Wild Stallion days, they probably said station.
Bogus Journey, they said station all the time.
But why would Kid Cudi know that in universe?
I don't have any idea.
Unless they said it during their Wild Stallion days, which is what I was saying before.
Oh.
On stage or something. Station, and he was a fan of Wild Stallions, and he was like,
Was he in the audience?
Moving on. You're not following my train at all.
No, I mean the station thing. The old aliens, right?
Mm-hmm.
Station.
Do you know why they said station in the movie?
It's got to have something to do with music.
No, not at all, actually.
Really?
It has entirely to do with the screenplay.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so the writers of the screenplay, like most screenplays, when you're writing, you write more than what's going to make the final cut of the movie, so you take parts out. And there was a scene of the movie that took place at a bus station, or it might have been a train station. I may be one of those two things. And they were like, no, we got to cut that. So they took it all out except the word station from where it would have been exterior bus station or whatever. They took everything out except the word station. So right in this middle of this column of dialogue, as Keanu Reeves and Alex Winter are reading their lines, it's just the word station thrown in there, and then I guess they thought that was funny, so it became a joke on set. They would yell station, and that's where it comes from.
I thought it was from a classic rock song or something.
You don't like classic rock?
Not at all.
So you wouldn't know that none of them yell station at any point. Well, someone in the comments is actually in Fog Hats on their third album.
Or they'll be like, Joe, you don't like classic rock?
I don't think
I like some. I'm just very particular.
Yeah, you would have to like some. I mean, yeah. I like nothing before 1991.
Yeah. Used to be in a band. I like some classic rock. Come on.
You would have to.
Rock band. Yeah, come on. I didn't. That's
Interesting,
awesome.
right? Yeah.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, I like that.
Station.
I think we've covered this movie pretty well.
Yeah.
As it stands right now, of movies released in the year 2020, it's my favorite movie of 2020. Now, keep in mind, I haven't seen every movie released this year, but it's currently my number one, which before that was Onward. Pixar's Onward was my number
Onward
one.
was very good.
But this one is above it.
Actually, it doesn't sound exciting at all, but I totally agree with Matt. It's my favorite movie this year, and I think Onward would be a very close second. I mean, Bill and Ted it resonates with me, like I said, nostalgia. But Onward was good too.
Unfortunately, this year we haven't had many new releases as far as movies. Things have been pushed back.
Right.
What are some movies that would be coming up that you would be excited about? Like some that would maybe have already been released?
I mean, not a movie,
Ones
but,
that got pushed
but
back.
The Mandalorian already came back out on Disney Plus. That was good.
Yeah, that didn't get pushed back at all.
No.
It's right on schedule.
But I don't keep. I don't know.
I'll tell you, I'm disappointed.
You're better than me.
The French Dispatch, Wes Anderson's new movie, got pushed back. Would have came out months ago.
I don't know anything about that.
Yep.
I mean, you got your finger on the pulse on that stuff. I don't.
It wouldn't have been out yet, but Batman got pushed back another year. Now, The Batman.
With Robert Pattinson?
Yeah, now won't be out till 2022.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't hear that.
So that got pushed back. Dune got pushed back.
What?
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to see that. When?
Well, it would have come out sooner, but I think they're still right around the same time, but there's no way they're going to release it.
When?
It's going to get pushed back well into next year. Or maybe it already has.
2021?
Yeah, for sure. Or it might get like a HBO Max release, which I hope doesn't happen, but it could happen. Yeah, it's unfortunate, but, that's the state of things. Like you said, I'm more kind of on the pulse of movies. I kind of just crushed you. You might have been excited about, like, maybe Wonder Woman, Black Widow, Mulan, which did get released on Disney Plus if you were willing to pay the $30 for premiere access. But
it's got terrible reviews.
Actually, yeah, it did. I haven't seen it yet. I'll probably watch it when it gets on there next month, when it's like, for standard subscription rate. I'll probably watch it. If you have seen Mulan, I don't really care if you spoil it. I've already had it spoiled in a number of ways anyway. There's no Eddie Murphy, so I'm not on board at all. But I probably will watch it. But if you have watched it, comment below. Tell us what you thought about it. Tell us how you feel about some of these movie delays.
Well, and also, if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. Hit that bell. So you can get more great Matt and Joe overload content.
Hopefully, regularly from now on.
Our plan is to release videos.
Hopefully that little notification bell drives you crazy and...
Yeah, you just get so annoyed that you're like, all right, fine, I'm going to watch the video.
And you'll love them. Hopefully.
And you'll love them. We're trying to release video at least once a week, at least to start. And then we want to keep to that promise. We've made promises before, they haven't happened.
Not this time, though.
Yeah.
Promises will be kept.
We are doing it.
Mm-hmm. As sure as our camera rests on the Holy Bible right now, we swear our content will be as promised and on time.
And it actually is.
That would have been a really weird joke for me to make if it wasn't literal. Our camera's on a Bible. Just kidding.
Hand to Bible.
It's on a tripod.
We are recording on the Bible. That was dumb.
This joke's went on way too long. So if you're still listening, earlier in the evening, Joe and I... Yeah, bring that back. I was missing it. I kept glancing back at it.
Good.
Earlier in the night, Joe and I, as we're transitioning out of the movie discussion, we watched the trailer for the upcoming video game adaptation, Monster Hunter, starring Mila Jovovich of Resident Evil and The Fifth Element fame, and directed by her husband, Paul W.S. Anderson, who doesn't have the greatest track record of a director, but he did direct Event Horizon, so I'll give him some credit.
Talk about keeping it in the family.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think she was married or at least dated Luc Besson before that, the guy that directed Fifth Element. So,
Oh, really?
Yeah, so she, has some on-set romances pretty frequently.
I guess there's not a whole lot going on.
I love Mila Jovovich. She is so attractive.
She's pretty.
What did you think about that trailer, though? I mean, we didn't discuss it at all. We sat side by side and watched it, but we made a few little comments that kind of slipped out.
It was hard not to say anything because that's just what.
Because you're reacting.
Yeah, that's what we do.
It was in the moment. So now we're giving you our opinions.
So now we haven't said. The monsters look like the monsters from the games.
It would be very weird if they did. They're all
should be given.
They're all Muppets from the Jim Henson.
Hey man, sometimes when they do the video game adaptations,
look at Sonic. Look what happened with Sonic.
They had to reset. They had to hit the Sega reset button and turn Sonic back to.
They had to get back in the seat.
Yeah. They had to blow on the cartridge. That's Nintendo.
In the seat, out of the seat. Get that trending.
They had to blow on the cartridge. I guess that's
what you said.
Nintendo.
What? We're not talking about Sonic, though. We're talking about
We're talking about
Monster Hunter.
So I remember the first time that I played the Monster Hunter games. They've already been in Japan for years, and I was watching a building in overtime when I was working for a school district in Texas. And I had my PSP, right? Very not popular anymore. No, it's the Vita that's not popular. PSP was okay. But I never really played it before. I had one.
Uh-huh.
And I bought Monster Hunter because I heard so much about it. It's like Monster Hunter 3 or something. And I put it in that. But I had to be at that building for like 6 hours. Mm-hmm. Just to like take care of whatever was going on. And I hated the analog controls on the PSP because they didn't feel very good. Yeah. They're the little tiny joysticks. Mm-hmm. But as I played I got used to controls, and I was playing the game, and I was like, man, this is really like in depth. Like you get this, this upgrades this. You got to kill this monster to get this. So you can get this armor so you can fight this monster. And it was just, it's a grind game is what it is.
Yeah. But
when they re-released it, the new Monster Hunter that you'll find like on the Xbox One and PS4, it's a little simpler.
What's it called? Monster Hunter World?
World, I think. Yeah. The World or Worlds, I believe. Something like that. Yeah, anyway. And they had an expansion called Iceborne, which I haven't played. But
we should do that.
But we played a little bit of Monster Hunter.
Mm-hmm. And we discussed it on one of our previous podcasts. I forget those. Thing in the past. Yeah. This is where we are now.
This is where we're at.
Anyway, back to the trailer. Just get that out of the way. Our reactions to it.
I like the monsters. They looked as I would expect. And I wasn't. And there were some hints at the weapons from the game. Like, there was swords with flames on them. I like that.
Yeah, as we saw Mila Jovovich wielding and me.
I like that.
Yeah. And it would appear that the movie's going from the angle that, like, these military people from our world somehow stumble into the realm of...
I was a little on edge about that at first. I'm like, here we go.
I know. I heard you. You went... Which is, I think, exactly your reaction to seeing the daughters on Bill and Ted when we watched it the first time. You went, And if you hear Joe do that, you know you haven't lost him entirely, but you gotta work to get out of that ditch. Even when we watched Joker, which you ended up loving.
Yeah.
Early on, you went, and like halfway through, we had to pause it for some reason. You were like, I don't know if I'm on board for this. I was like, give it some time. And then by the end, you were like, I love it. It was great. 6 out of 6.
10 out of 10 from me. Yep, man, that's spot on. I mean, that's it. Like, if I see something and I'm like,
I have a feeling if we watch that Monster Hunter movie, which supposedly is still getting a theatrical release,
I think it's on YouTube.
something's on YouTube. It's not that movie. We should check that out.
Yeah.
You're on YouTube right now. Oh, but you have to be there.
That's how we're recording the video.
Woo! This has been a long night. This video's went a little longer than I thought it would anyway,
Yep.
but that's all right. But yeah, check out that Monster Hunter trailer and maybe the full movie if it's on there. I liked it. The trailer. I'll watch the movie and it might be good, might be bad. Like I said, not the best track record for that collaborative team, but we'll see.
It's interesting that they go from like Mila Jovovich.
I mean, this is the guy that also directed Alien vs. Predator.
What's her?
Jovovich.
Goes from Resident Evil, which is a survival horror game, which, man, they made way more movies than I ever expected them to.
What, like
And
6?
Yeah.
5 or 6?
Yeah. And they're not bad. I mean, they're entertaining. I mean, that's it. The better video game movies. I don't know, dude. I liked Sonic, but I don't think it was like the best video game movie like a lot of people say.
I like Detective Pikachu.
I still haven't seen that.
Oh, you like Mortal Kombat, right?
Yeah.
This guy directed Mortal Kombat.
Oh.
There you go.
But I like Jim Carrey and Sonic. Anyway,
Everybody liked Jim Carrey.
dude,
People had mixed opinions about just about everything except Jim Carrey.
Carrey's so good. Anyway, so going from the Resident Evil to Monster Hunter is a little different. Monster Hunter is a grindy game. Very grindy. I mean, you just keep doing the same stuff over and over to get powered up. So I don't know how they're going to translate that into a movie.
Is it Resident Evil 4 that came with that chainsaw thing?
I think so.
That's pretty cool.
I know what you're talking about. Was it the controller then? Yeah. I think it was 4.
I think so.
I think it was 4. It was either 4 or 5.
Comment below if you know.
Comment below if
I've
you
been
know.
saying that all night. You haven't. I don't think you've said it
No.
on your own accord.
No.
Wow, we've switched roles.
Yeah, we switched roles.
Interesting.
At least I got, who knows where we'll go in. I meant to do that earlier, but I forgot.
It's all right.
Um,
If you're new, you'll catch on to what all this means.
so, talking about video games, they have recently released 3 old LucasArts games.
Mm-hmm.
Day of the Tentacle, Grim Fandango, and Full Throttle.
And Full Throttle, you've been playing.
Full Throttle I've
Quite a
been
bit
playing.
recently?
Yeah, because when I was it was a DOS game. For those of you that know, command exe run fullthrottle.exe, all that kind of stuff. It is awesome. I haven't picked up Grim Fandango, which that's the only LucasArts game I haven't finished. Is Grim Fandango.
What is that?
It's another. They're adventure games, is what they are, where you
What
have
is
to
that one
like.
specifically? It doesn't really give a lot away by the title.
Well, Grim Fandango is your character is Manny, and he's somebody who dies, and you're dead, but something happened to why you're dead, and you're trying to unravel the mystery. And the other
Something happened to why you're dead.
Well, you don't know. I mean,
obviously you died somehow.
I haven't finished the game. I haven't played it all the way through. I don't know.
He was born dead, and he's just.
I think there are dead babies there.
Ghost babies.
I think they're like skeleton babies in the game. I'm pretty sure. But the artistic part of it is it's kind of like the Day of the Dead.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of what it plays on. But anyway, that's the only game that I haven't finished. They have Day of the Tentacle.
That was a crunchy piece.
And I think you ate a kernel.
I think all my teeth fell out.
And then, but Full Throttle, Mark Hamill is the villain. He voices the villain. Roy Conrad is the main character, which he's Rest in peace. Man, I played that game a ton. The music's great. It's all great.
Recommend it to the fans?
Recommend it to the fans.
Where can they get it? Where can they pick it up?
Xbox One, PS4. I'm sure it's on Steam. Xbox One, PS4. It's right now. It's on sale for $11.99. Man, that is a steal. And it's some of the graphics are a little updated, but you can also revert back to the old computer graphics, the little pixelated graphics. Man, but the dialogue is great. The scenes are still the same. I mean, it's exactly the same as I remember. It's so good. And I only played for like 40 minutes, and I was like, man, I remember all of this. This is so cool. And they got things that help you. You don't have to guess as much, but highly recommend. I'd give it 10 out of 10.
10 out of 10.
10 out of 10. Yeah.
I've played it, so I can't give it anything.
Yeah, right. Well, I might have Matt look at some of the
Yeah, we'll check it out.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, a game we've been playing a lot lately that I've enjoyed is Crazy Strike Bowling EX.
Hell
which is, as far as bowling games go, one of the better ones we could find. I'm not going to sit here and tell you it's the best out there, but it's a quality game.
You can upgrade
if you're into bowling.
Yeah, you can upgrade when you earn credits for how well you do on the lanes. You can upgrade the bowling balls. You can upgrade your equipment. You can play up to 4 players on the same console.
Up to 4, yes.
Up to 4.
And you have a selection of a couple of different fun avatars, kind of anime-inspired characters.
It's very anime-inspired.
I always play as Paris.
Yeah.
And Joe always plays as Lance.
Lance, yes. But it's a fun game. You can, it's just,
choose from some fun different lanes to play on.
Yeah, I mean, you got
themes.
ice lanes, regular lanes, shorter lanes,
spooky Halloween lanes.
Man, we've been playing this game for 2 years?
Yeah, and specifically a lot just here lately.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a good time. I mean, it's like you want to sit around with your friends, if you're having a few people over at a gathering or something, fire up some Crazy Strike Bowling EX.
Watch the hours fly by.
Watch the hours fly by, because sometimes they did.
Absolutely.
Man, it was good.
Another game we've been playing here lately that we've enjoyed is Door Kickers Action Squad.
Oh, man.
Which is, you describe it.
It's an 8-bit game. That's the style. But what you do is you've got several levels, or several stages per level. Like anything else, but you have different characters that you can select, like a shotgun guy, breacher,
off-duty
guy,
Agent Fergie, or something like that.
And they all have different skills and stuff. But basically, it's like a side-scroller shooter.
Mm-hmm.
And,
raid-based,
yeah. And you have different objectives that you have to, whatever you're.
Yeah, you have to free hostages, take out the hostiles, arrest the boss.
Right.
Different things, which some people playing with us found to be quite troubling.
Yeah.
Hard to do.
And you get 1 star, 2 star, 3 stars. And the more stars you get, you unlock more levels. And then
you get skills, you can
so on and so on.
Make your health last longer, all kinds of exciting things. It's a really fun game.
Yeah, especially to play with somebody else.
Yeah, play as a team. I recommend if you do that, go with the pairing of the breacher and the off-duty guy. You're pretty much set. As long as you don't As long as you don't have a guy in a bomb vest run at you.
Yeah.
Watch out for him.
But that's
believe it or not, that's not good.
but that's a really fun game. We've been playing that a lot here lately. I mean, it's been out for a minute. As far as I know, it's on Xbox One. It might be on PlayStation. I'm not sure. I can't imagine why it wouldn't be.
Surely it is.
It has to be.
But anyway, if you have access to it, look it up, get it, give it a try. You'll probably enjoy it.
Yep.
If you're anything like us, you'll get addicted to it.
Yeah.
Just like this stuff.
I'm
telling you, I'm going to eat this all bad.
I mean, I'm fine with that. This is...
I still can't get over how surprised I am by
at how good it is.
Exactly what you were saying.
Yeah.
It is very grainy. God. Like, you will have a lot of cinnamon dust on your fingers, and I've been wiping it on my pants, so, you might want to keep a napkin handy if you're eating it. But still, quality. Also, not a lot of husk. I bit into that one earlier that was like a solid kernel. But, sometimes popcorn's like a lot of husk. Like, you get a lot of those.
I think I got something stuck in my teeth, which I also hate about popcorn.
It'll happen, but it's not too bad.
No.
Not as bad as you get sometimes.
No. Well, and I used to eat SmartFood popcorn all the time, like the white cheddar. I used to call it cheddar pop. That was the name I used for it. Not SmartFood. I got cheddar pop.
Yeah, give me some cheddar pop.
Yeah, I need some cheddar pop. Which I guess SmartFood is the same amount of syllables.
Yeah.
So, why did I just
actually
call
less.
it SmartFood? Oh yeah, it is less. Damn it.
Joe still can't do math.
It's terrible.
Any final thoughts? I think we've covered things pretty well for our first episode. Back in the seat.
Back in the seat. I want to ask you guys, what do you think about the new format?
Yeah, let us know what you think. Do you like this format? Do you have any suggestions? Any topics you would like to suggest that we talk about in future things? Anything you would like to see us do? Like I said, we're keeping promises, so if we get a suggestion, we'll probably follow through with most things within reason.
I think we have the email address set up. We'll have to look back to it. It's been a minute.
Well, no. You can reach us at, if you want to email us, at Matt and Joe M.O. That's Matt capitalized and Joe capitalized, capital M.O. at gmail.com. We'll put it in the description, and you can just look at it. You don't have to remember what I just said. You can also find us on Twitter at Matt and Joe M.O. We'll fire that back up. And we're also on Facebook, but come on, who wants to be on Facebook?
I'm not on Facebook. And
I was on it earlier today. But who wants to be on Facebook? Am I right?
You're right.
Where are the kids on today? TikTok?
Yeah.
Catch us on TikTok.
Get ready for Matt and Joe Overload TikTok.
TikTok Overload. Something like that.
TikTok look.
Alright, before this gets any worse, I think we should probably call it a night.
Alright.
So, until next week, I'm Matt.
And I'm Joe.
And you've been watching the all-new
Matt and Joe Overload. Are you,
Remember episode Dinosaurs? We were talking about that one.
Oh, yeah, the thing.
You know how it ended, right?
Didn't they all die or something?
Yeah, mass extinction. What a way to end a series.
What?
Crazy.